Hi everybody, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to use ChatGPT to create a Python reverse shell script for both the client and server. So we've all heard about OpenAI's ChatGPT and how it's changing everything. People can now just create websites by asking the AI questions and it will respond with an answer. And some people are afraid that this is going to lead to robots taking their jobs or something of that sort. And I believe that this can be used as a tool, and maybe in the future it will replace some of our jobs. But over time, I think that we will utilize it to help us work more efficiently. For example, if you're a website developer and you're trying to create maybe a button, you can ask ChatGPT to just help you with that really quick, and you can get the code that you need rather than having to hand jam that out and type it out. So I think this is pretty great. And as for cybersecurity, this is going to be huge because the blue team's going to use this to stay on top of threats and vulnerabilities, and bad guys, black hats, they're going to utilize this to help them create malware. So they've said on their website that they don't want people to utilize it to create malware. However, in this video, I'll be utilizing this as a demonstration to show you some of the things it can do and its capabilities. So let's go ahead and go over to their chat. And I'm gonna go ahead and post a link for this in the description below. Highly recommend you go there and you start asking it questions. Now, you can see this little box down here, and you can just ignore this, the example capabilities limitations. It just goes over ChatGPT and just talks a little bit about it. But you can see this little chat box here, and all you need to do is just go ahead and enter your question here and click the send. Then the AI will respond with an answer. It also saves your chat history, so you can see I've asked it about how to create a Python reverse shell script, and it provided me the script. I asked for the server version of the script, and it provided me that as well. Now afterwards, I wanted to see if they actually work, and the results will be very interesting, so stay tuned. So what I'm going to do is, I have my previous chat history. I'm just going to input the first question I had asked it a second ago. Can you make a Python reverse shell client script that will accept commands from a Windows terminal? And you can see it's starting to type out the answer. Yes, here's an example of a simple Python reverse shell script that will accept commands from a Windows terminal. All right, so looks like it's starting to type out the answer here. You can see it's typing out the Python shell commands. And I think this is going to be very interesting in the future. Who are we going to blame for hacks? Is it going to be the Open Chat GPT OpenAI, or is it going to be the hacker? Because technically, they're providing me the code here. Who's to blame? That's going to be an interesting question in the future. So here you can see that it says, yes, I've created a Python script for a reverse shell that will accept commands from Windows terminal. Here's an example of the script. And we have import socket, and so this is going to be utilized for the client, right? And what it's doing here is we've specified an IP address, and it gives you an example. Then you have your port that it's going to connect to. All right, you have your creating a socket object, and it even provides you these comments here, which is pretty cool because I know some coders don't even comment their own code yet. This AI is able to, and it's going to connect to the server utilizing this IP import. Very efficient that it's using variables for that. Well, true, it's going to connect to that, and if it receives an exit, then it's going to break the connection and it's going to end it essentially. But if it's receiving data, then it's not going to do that. So, all right, and here we have our command that we're going to run, right? And it's going to execute the command and send the results back to the server. And so we're using some sub processes and pipes to do that. And then we're going to close the connection. Okay, so this is great. I have the client script there, but what about the server? I'm going to ask, what about the server? Can you create the server Python script that will accept this connection? So I'm going to go ahead and ask that question, and it's generating an answer. Yes, I can create a Python script for a reverse shell server that will accept connections from the client I provided earlier. Here's an example of such a script. Then you can see it's starting to output that script here for me. And so it's going to allow me to start up this server on my Attackbox, right? This listener. So this script creates a socket and binds it to the IP address and port. It then enters a listening state and waits for an incoming connection. Once a connection is established, it creates an infinite loop to receive commands from the user and sends them to the connected client. The output received from the client is then printed on the screen. The loop will exit when the command received is sent exit. Like the client script, this script is also a simple example and not intended for use in a production environment, as it is not secure. It is important to note that this script uses the input function to create a received command, so it will only work with Python 3. If you are using Python 2, you should use raw input instead. Alright, great. And you can see here it hasn't provided me any type of legalese or telling me not to use this for malicious purposes. However, in my previous chats it did. It specified, please note, the script is for educational purposes and not used for any malicious purpose. Okay, and then we can see this other one right here where it says, please note that creating a reverse shell without the consent of the system owner is illegal in many countries. So at least it's giving you, that banner, but after a while it stops and it doesn't provide me the banner anymore. So at this point, is it okay to do it? Well, sure it is. Let's do it. I'm just playing. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and open up the terminal here, and I'm going to determine what is my interface IP address for ETH0, right? And I can see it's 192.168.56.7. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to modify the script a little bit, and it tells us that we need to input the IP address, of course, right there, right? So I'm going to input that into my script. That's the only modification I'm going to do, and we'll see if it works like it's intended to. So this is the client one, so we won't use this one, but we will actually, the client one's up here. So this is the server one, and we'll utilize this one. All right, so I'm going to grab this, I'm going to copy it, and I'm simply paste it, right? Do what script kiddies do best, and we're just going to grab this, paste it, and run it. All right, so let's paste that in there. Okay, looks like I'm having a little bit of issues here with pasting this over. Just give me 1 sec. All right. All right, so what I did was I just went ahead and copied that script over here. Let's see here, let me just come over here. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do is I am just going to specify my IP address. Right, 192.168.56.7. Okay. And you can see by default it's actually using port 4444, which interesting. It knew what port to choose. Usually, MSF console, Metasploit will use that port. So it's interesting that it's using that specific port. So I'm going to go ahead and save this script here. And the next thing we're going to do is we are just going to navigate to that file. And I'm going to have to just go back here. So I got my OpenAI's hacking tool that it created for me. And then I'm gonna open up my terminal here. I'm gonna navigate to that specific file, and I'm gonna be ready to run it. But before I run that, I want to make sure that my Windows host is ready for that connection. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna log in here to my Windows host, and I got this virtual machine spun up, which I can log into and try this hacking tool with. You can see that, all right, there we go. And you can see I have my script here for the client. I've already went ahead and installed Python, and I noticed that Windows Defender is actually blocking these scripts, so I had to disable it. So I'm gonna go ahead and manage settings, ensure that real-time protection, cloud delivery protection, all these are off, otherwise it will not run. Windows Defender will pick this up. Are there ways to get around this? Yes, definitely. There's ways to obfuscate it. Won't be showing them in this video. However, in future videos, I may show that for tutorial purposes only. And what we'll do is we're just going to go here to the Python script I have located on the desktop. And let's see, we're going to just paste in whatever script they gave us to begin with, which was this first one. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, and we'll see if it just takes it. Hopefully it does. All right, come up here, paste that in. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and input the IP address of machine 56.7. Right, and you can see I think I changed the IP address that I want to use for my Attackbox. Let me just check that real quick. I'm pretty sure I changed it. I usually do. I usually don't like to use 4444. I use 7777. In the real world, you probably want to use something other than 444. Signature-based detections will probably detect that. So I just get into the habit of doing that, making sure I change that word. Of course, you can use well-known ports as well. That's a better option if you're able to establish that. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and save this. So we have our script ready to run, and we have the command prompt here opened as administrator. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and run my previous command, which is going to execute the script. But before I execute that, I'm going to go ahead and go over here to my Attackbox, and I'm going to run the listener, because we have to listen for that connection on our Attackbox. So it's now listening. Okay, this is similar to Netcat, except we're using Python for our listener here. Okay, and we're just going to go here over to our Windows 10 machine. We're going to go ahead and run it. Run the script. No, I need to have some interaction. All right, so we ran it, and we'll see if we actually get a connection here. And we did. We got a shell. Yes, it did what it was intended to do. Now, we'll go ahead and input a command here. dir. We want to list out the directories and see the folders on that machine. You can see here that on the Windows machine, we are getting an error. And the reason we're getting an error is because there's some slight modifications you're going to need to do in order to get this script to actually run the way you want it to run. Hey guys, so if you watched my video, you noticed that I ran into an error. Well, I was actually reviewing my premium content, and I noticed that the sub process, it says here in the background, did you forget to import your sub processes? And I was thinking, looks like OpenAI forgot to do that. Now, I'm a human being, so I seen that, and I was like, okay, I know what the error is here. I guess one day we'll have AIs actually fixing these errors, and that will change everything. But for the time being, I was able to fix the script that the OpenGPT chat made. And what I did was I just went and I import sub-processes here. So if you know a little bit about Python, you know that you can import from other modules, and that can be very useful It's utilized in many programming languages to include C#. So if you want to learn more about Python, I have a few videos on that, and you can definitely watch that and just learn a little bit about it. But once I did that, I saved the script, right? And then I ran it again. So I reran everything, and we can see here, start up my listener, right? And then from the Windows 10, ran the Python script that would connect out to the listener. And once I type dir, guess what? We actually have an interactive shell here. We can input commands, right? I'll type it again if you don't believe me. And you'll see it lists out the directory of the computer. This is awesome, right? I'm going to post this on my GitHub, and you can go and grab an AI created hacking tool. This is amazing. This tutorial is just simply show you really quick what it can do, how it can create that reverse shell, as far as creating a more stable reverse shell that will require some more research and create a longer video that I hope to make in the foreseeable future. But right now, I think this is it. I think this is a great tool. Like I said, for the blue team, it's going to be something we're going to have to watch out for, because malicious actors are going to be utilizing this, and we're now in the future where AI is able to create these tools relatively quickly and efficiently. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe. All right, Danny out. Bye-bye.